Rockin All Over the World by Status Quo. I'm not the biggest fan of Status Quo, but obviously when you're teaching, you've got to play whatever people ask you to play. This is a request by a friend of mine, and I'm really excited to be doing it actually because he's a great guy. He's given me loads of help and support in my substance recovery. Not only that, but he's also a veteran, and this is sort of the week of Armistice week, so this will probably actually get released on the 11th. So guy's name is Andy, brilliant guy, and I'm really pleased to be able to do this for him. So with that said, I'm going to go down into close-up and just show you the main riffs and the patterns that you're going to need to know to be able to play Rockin All Over the World. So the riff I just played at the start of the video, that's the main riff throughout most of the song. It's played in different chord positions, but that's the riff that carries most of the song, and it's the distinctive riff that you'll be familiar with the song. Now the tempo of the song is pretty quick. I think it's 135 BPM. I was playing it to the metronome at that speed at the start. As always, play the riff, learn the piece at the speed that's appropriate for you so you can play it cleanly, and you can always build it up to the correct tempo later. So I'm going to just slow it down a little bit whilst we get through the different parts of it. Now, the starting riff, there's actually 2 bars of music there. What I want to do is split that down into 2 individual bars. That's going to become important because we don't always play all of that pattern together. It's like the first part of the pattern, the second part of the pattern, and there are parts in the song where we have to use just the first part and not play the full thing through. So whilst I was playing the full 2 bars of it there, I'm going to cover it in 2 separate bars, and we can either play those together or we can play them separately as required by the song. So to break that down into the first bar of that, we've got the piece that's, so that's the first bar. I'm using my 5th and my 6th power chords. I've done a separate video, obviously I'll link to that. If you want to count it out, if it makes it more clearer to you, the count pattern to play this particular part of the riff is 1, 2, 3, 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So that's the first of 2 bars. So again, take it as slow as you like. The second bar that completes that phrase, the riff that I played at the start, is, I'll play the thing through again just to give you the context. So the second bar of that piece is, so. If you want to count it, the count would be 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So we've got 2 separate bars that make up that that riff that I played at the beginning of the video. The song starts off with playing the 2 bars together as a complete section, as I did. As I say, there are parts of the song where we just need to play the first bar and we don't include the second bar. That'll become quite clear when we play through it, but I would suggest learning them as individual bars to start with, because you can always, it's easier to join them together, I believe, than to learn it as a full 2-part piece and then worry about splitting it down into individual sections later. So you should be able to play the 2 smoothly together Again, start slower on your metronome, do it at whatever speed you're comfortable with. 135 is pretty quick, particularly if you're not used to playing these movable bar chords. So keep it nice and easy, make sure the chords are clean before building it up to song speed. You can always do that later. There's no need to rush and try and get it up to speed now. So to put that into context of the song, with the movable chords, because they're movable, we're going to use that movable shape, or those movable shapes, and we're going to play that in 3 different positions. One position is that starting position, which I'm going to call the C position because it's starting with a C. So as an example, another position we're going to use is going to be the F position. So I'm going to move across, down a string, down to my A string, my 5th string, play the same thing. That's going to be my F position. Quite similar to the another video I did on the power chords. Again, I'll link all of these videos down for you in the description. And finally, we need to play a G position. There's a couple of different ways we can do that. Probably the easiest way is just to move up from our F sharp, a G. We can play our G position there. So they're all based around here. I'm not sure. I did have a listen through a couple of times. I'm not sure if on the recording it actually goes down to the G down here, which is it's quite a big movement down and it's quite a stretch. So it's up to you. You can either use the easy option up here, so we're in the same position, or you can go down to the G down there. I'll play it through using the simple version, and then if you wish to have a go at using the other G, I think the other G sounds better down there. Gives it a bit more of a beefy sound, but it's more of a slide down, not a slide, but it's more of a shift down and more of a stretch as well. So just be aware of that. So the song starts off with the riff that I played at the beginning. I think there's four bars worth of that. Before the singing comes in. The first verse comes in at that point where the guy starts saying, well, here we are and here we are and here we go, or whatever it is he's saying. So at this point we're going to learn the pattern of the verse, so how we're going to move this shape around the chord sequence for the verse. So to start off with, in the verse we've got 2 bars of the C position, the first one. So when I say 2 bars, we're going to play the riff all the way through before we change. So the first part of the verse is, and then we're going to change to the F position. So we're going to move across the string down to the same frets, but just down 1 string across, and we're going to play 2 bars of the riff pattern. So we've gone from the C position down to the F position in the first part of the verse. Now, where it starts getting a little bit more, not complicated, but where we need to start using just the first part of that riff progression is now, because we're going to play the first bar of the C position. By the way, I'll play it through in its entirety. It'll make more sense when you see me play it all together. I'll play the first bar of the C position, so just the... So that's the first bar of the C, and then I'm going to play the first bar of the G, which is, I'm going to play up here. And then I'm going to go back to play the full 2 bars of the C position. So I'll put it all together and play it as it sounds in the verse. So hopefully if you're counting, you can see that I'm playing on the first the two chords, so for the C and for the F, I'm playing the full 2-bar progression, then I'm just going to play 1 bar of the C, 1 bar of the G, then back to 2 bars of the C. I'll do it again. So that's the verse again. Start off with it slow. Don't try and aim straight away for the 135. Do it just as nice and easy as you like. Once you've got it clean, then you can always build it up. There is another slight variation in the song from that pattern, but I've saved it to the end because it's really easy. Once you've cracked that bit, the other pattern is super simple because it's a straightforward count, and it's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's the bit where he starts singing, and I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it. And at that point, rather than having to worry about playing that pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, as I say, it's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's the same chords, the 5th and the 6th chords, and we're just playing the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Hopefully you can see from my right hand, it's an even downstroke strumming on that, so you don't have to worry about where to play and where not to play. It's all consistent, standard timing. Whichever chord we're playing, the C, the F or the G, it's just a slightly different strumming pattern on that. So have a go at it, start it nice and slow, and build your speed up as you would with any other piece. So just a couple of quick points that I want to finish off on. When I was preparing to record this, I didn't know how to play the song originally. I had no idea in my head how it went, but I needed to just, have a go at it, learn it myself before trying to show it to you. One thing I noticed was listening to the thing in its entirety. Most of the song is actually really approachable. There's some sort of lead guitar bits, if we call them that, a bit of a solo type thing and some melodies taking place later on. Those are actually, in this song, they're actually quite approachable. There's nothing too scary. So if it's a song that you do like, if you start off with the rhythm bits as you normally do when you're learning a song, get the main, the meat and the veg of the song out of the way, your verse and your choruses. Sometimes you might learn a song, I found this myself, that you learn the basics and then some of the other bits, they're just beyond your capability. I certainly found that a lot when I was first learning, that I got stuck with knowing parts of the song and then not being able to do the rest of the song because it was above my ability level. With this song, one of the really cool things is that, I wouldn't say it's simple, but most of it does seem to be very approachable with enough practice. There's nothing that's blindingly fast, there's nothing that's ridiculously complicated. Even if you're a beginner, some of it will require a bit of dedication and practice, but if you like the song, then that's not going to be an issue to you because you'll put that time in. And most of it, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, is stuff that you can have a go at in terms of completing the full song. The second thing, when I was looking at different ways of approaching this song, I discovered a version of it on a site on the internet called Songster. I'll put a link to that site because I've had a quick look at that and it seems really good. And as well as giving you the tab music to this song and like probably millions of other songs, there's loads of songs on there. It also lets you play through so you can listen to what the song should sound like, as well as see the tab, and it shows you, like a timeline as to where it's moving along You can see what you should be playing whilst listening to it. We never had anything like that when I was learning to play, and it just looks like a fantastic resource. I've had to skip through some of the songs. The songs on it seem to be provided by individuals, whoever chooses to upload them, as far as I can see. So sometimes I've noticed some of the things that I've listened to, they've not been always 100%, but the majority of it seems really, really decent, and it's a great starting point. Even if it's not 100%, if you can have something like that that'll get you to 95%, then that's a win. You can always iron out any little issues or slightly wrong notes later. But from what I've seen, it's absolutely fantastic. I'll put a link down to it. As far as I know, it's available to share. I didn't have to sign up for it. It's publicly there, so I don't think I'll have any copyright problems with it. I don't want to copy and post the tab to create any copyright problems in that way, but you don't have to subscribe or anything like that. It's there for all to see. I think you can subscribe if you want to, which gives you additional features, which I might look into it because it does look really useful. But that's something that I found useful when I was looking at this song in particular, and I'm sharing it so that you've got the choice to have a look at it and see if you think it's useful as well. Back to the Status Quo song. As always, practice it clean, practice it slow, and build it up to the speed at the 135 BPM, I think it is. When you're ready for it, don't try and rush it, make it sound nice. And as ever, enjoy.